So now let's talk about some parameters in the whitewater solver. First thing that Houdini does by default is that it refers to this volumes out null. This volumes out null here is just this merge flip tank which merges our compressed cache, and this compressed cache they had the two fields that the DOP network needs for the simulation, which is the surface field and the velocity field. Okay, so here is the first thing that Houdini does by default, and if you create this from scratch, you should refer to the volume source and the emission source. The emission source is just the whitewater source, which I assume you have exported that on your disk, because you don't need to calculate this every time you simulate your whitewater simulation. Okay, the whitewater scale, this should be linked to the particle separation of our simulation, and they should be the same value. Surely when you just decrease the whitewater scale, there will be more particles, or there will be more whitewater. The voxel size is the resolution of the volumetric simulation, and I will use the value of 0.05. okay. In the emission tab, I have added this velocity offset of 0.02, and this will ensure that the foam covers the simulation, or will be offsetted by a distance of 0.02 over my simulation, and this will assure that the foam covers the mesh when we just render the simulation. Okay, and for the lifespan, this is the span of, or this is the age of the particles in seconds. We will use 4.5. okay, and in this advanced tab here we have aging rates, which is the age of the components of the whitewater. We have three components of whitewater: bubbles and foam, and we also have spray. So we will just make the bubbles live larger than the foam. It will be something like 25, and we will make the foam 1.5. and now we use this high number for the bubbles, because bubbles is converted to foam when they just reach the surface of water. So when we just make more bubbles, there will be more chance for the particles to be converted into foam, and this will make our simulation accurate, and this will increase the whitewater. Okay, we can add a noise on the velocity, but I won't add this now. And the limits here, we are limiting the simulation within the boundaries of our simulation that is used in the DOP network. So now it's linked, this parameter is linked to the AutoDOP network limit boundaries and the center, and surely this closed boundaries as well. We are going to use this collision SOP, and for this collision SOP here we need to do something here in this navy plane. I think it's better to cache those two things here on disk, because you don't want to waste your time just calculating the VDB every time you simulate a test for your whitewater. So we're just going to merge the collision and the VDB here to this merge node. We are going to make a null, and at this null node we will call it out merged collision. Okay, and then the whitewater simulation in this collision SOP, we are going to point to the outmerged collision, the surface or the SDF name will be surface. Also, we are going to add the state attribute, and here in the forces we will do tests for these parameters in the next video. Okay, thank you for watching. One thing that you should make sure you have turned it off in the advanced tab is use OpenCL, because if you don't have very good GPU, this will cause your program to crash. So this is enabled by default. I am using my CPU to calculate the simulation. Don't use OpenCL if you don't have a strong GPU. So this is very important, and I don't know why this is enabled by default, but it made my program crash whenever it makes my program crash whenever I simulate white water. Okay, so I'd like you to notice this. So thank you.